Hey there, it's Rob Wardrop with InXpress. Just wanted to take a minute and share some information with all of our customers and our associates about the recently announced tariffs that are being recommended and implemented for commodities that are being imported from China. Now, these recommendations are coming from the United States Office of the Trade Representative. This is just an office as part of the U.S. bureaucracy that we're all familiar with, but you may not be familiar with this particular body. This is the group that analyzes the benefit of these commodities and their tariffs and how they can be utilized. In this case, they're being utilized in a punitive way to try to have an effect on China and some of their practices in their use of the technology developed in the United States, and there's a lot of other accusations out there. They're probably true. I can't say definitively they are because I don't have all the information, or I'm not familiar with all of the aspects of those allegations. But what we do know is that there is a list of commodities in the recently in the news and the news outlets that I watched. I looked at several news reports, and the only commodity that was being reported was electric cars from China. That's probably the highest increase, up to 100% duty on those imports. But it's not exclusive to just electric cars. And I noticed in the list that is seen on that website, and I will include a link for that just below here. There are a number of commodities that I know that our customers, at least some of our customers, import, and they import it from China. So I wanted to make this information available. If you're not familiar with how tariffs are used, and this is not exclusive to the United States, but pretty much all countries globally will use tariffs in a number of different ways. One of those ways is to be punitive, or to protect their own industries, creating a barrier to entry so that their citizens, their people, are not purchasing from overseas, but that they are using their own local resource, strengthening their own local economy in purchasing those commodities instead of going abroad for those. I know that there are semiconductors on this list. There's been a huge problem with importing microchips from China, because, at least partly because, there are allegations about slave labor being used in order to produce those chips. And so the U.S. importers have been discouraged in purchasing from China. Now, I realize that some of these measures are, while they're good for the country at large, they may be difficult for our customers or for the small business. I get that. We saw that in the last administration with some of the tariffs that were imposed there. I feel like those were probably necessary, and these that we're seeing today are necessary, but that doesn't mean that it makes it easy for the small business here in America. So anyway, let me take you to my screen, and we'll take a look at this list. But as you can see from the list shown here, things like face masks increase the rate to 25%. I think right now they're at 0. Down at the bottom here, syringes and needles increase the rate to 50%. These are huge increases. Oftentimes, we might see an increase go up a couple percent, maybe 10%, but these are designed to really hurt and to discourage importers from buying these commodities from China. Now, we have medical gloves here, increase the rate to 25% by in 2026. And so lithium ion, those batteries are in everything, right? We have vehicle batteries, and then we've got non-electrical vehicle batteries. There's just all kinds of increases here. Permanent magnets. In reading through this webpage, there's a lot of information about the U.S. being very unhappy with China's practices and feeling like they're very unfair. So this is an attempt to discourage commerce with China, at least in these key areas. Solar cells. I was on a trip over the weekend. I saw solar cells everywhere in solar farms, and it reminded me of this increase. So, we do have customers. We know that customers that source from China, some of these commodities are part of what you source from China, so I wanted to get this information out. For those of you who do not, or this may be irrelevant too, I think it's important to understand just a little bit more about where these tariffs come from and where you can find more information. And so again, this comes from the Office of the United States Trade Representative, and I will include the link to this website just below the video here. Thanks for taking time with me today, and let us know if we can help you with anything or if you have additional questions. Bye-bye.